Okay, there you go. Okay, so I have seen your responses for your homework. I think it was not very well done, probably because heat is a new topic and a lot of concepts I think you were still not able to grasp. Okay, because heat is really I would say, like, for example, living and non-living things, animals, all this is easy for you to visualize. But for heat, I think it sometimes can be quite difficult to visualize. Yeah. So our focus today, our learning objective of today is to identify the sources of heat, state the temperature of an object is a measurement of its degree of hotness, state that heat is a form of energy. Okay, and then we must also be able to differentiate between heat and temperature. Show an understanding that heat flows from a hotter to a colder object, region, or place until both reach the same temperature. So these are the different parts that we need to know for heat for today. Okay, now we're gonna quickly move on to the next one. Okay, I think class rules I don't have to go through. Now, there are different heat sources. So heat sources basically means things that gives off heat. Okay, so one example will be your natural sources, like your geysers. Do you know what's geysers? No? Okay, maybe I'll show you a photo of it, huh?
I think I saw it before. I think I know it.
You saw it before?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'll show it to you, okay?
Can I go toilet?
Yes, go ahead. So as you can see, this is a geyser. It's basically massive amount of heat energy from the center of the earth, from the core, and then it basically forms like a mini explosion of your water bodies. Okay, see, it's because it's a rare kind of hot spring that under pressure, it will send jets of water and steam into the air. So that's a geyser. Okay, so geyser is a natural source of heat together with your sun and your volcano. Another heat source will be your fuels, things that you can burn, like for example, coal, petrol, or wood. Yeah, so those are your fuels. Okay, and then we have your electrical appliances. Appliances are considered your artificial heat sources. So you have to basically um, charge it first, then after that, or maybe you just have to plug it into a socket before it can give you heat. Friction. Okay, friction is when you rub one object against another, right? That causes friction. So you can try rubbing your hand against each other now, and you will start to feel a little bit of a heat, right? So that's one of the sources of heat as well. Yeah, Kelvin, I see what you're doing there. Good, Abir. Okay, so you feel a bit of heat, right? Because of the friction. Okay. Now, let's move on. So what are the uses of heat? I think we can look at two things, two aspects, at home and in industries. So at home, the sun actually helps to dry our clothes, helps to preserve food in certain countries, not in Singapore maybe, but some countries actually, preserve food with the sun. From electricity, we use it for ironing of clothes, to heat up our water, for oven, for baking, right? And then, of course, for your burning fuels, like your cooking gas, cooking gas actually helps to cook food as well as boil water. Now, in terms of industry, we can use the burning coal to generate electricity in power plant. Okay. Heat also helps us in terms of processing of food, glass, paper, and textiles. It also helps us to melt, shape, and cut and harden metals. So at high heat, actually metals can melt. And when metals melt, that's when we can actually shape it into something. Okay. So what is the difference between heat and temperature? Heat is a form of energy, right? This one is form. Okay. It's a form of energy and it makes things hot. Temperature is a measurement of the degree of hotness. So all in all, you need to know that heat is not equals to temperature. It's not. Okay, heat is a form of energy, but temperature is like a measurement. For example, when we use the thermometer, right? The higher the temperature, the hotter it is. But that doesn't mean the amount of heat energy as well. Yeah. So there are two types of thermometer. The clinical thermometer is what you see here, except that this is in Fahrenheit. Usually in Singapore, we measure in degrees Celsius. Okay. And then we have your laboratory thermometer as well. Maybe let me show you. Have you seen a laboratory thermometer before? Yes?
Yes.
It's really long. Okay, it's really long and thin. And it uses mercury inside, so it helps in terms of measuring like higher temperature items like this. Okay. Okay, so now let's move on to the next one. Let's start with the questions, okay? So as we go through questions, then we will recap on some concepts, yeah? Okay, I need you to pay close attention because heat is really not something that has been well done for the assessment. So that means we need to pay a bit more attention. Okay, now question 1. Beakers A, B, C, and D contain different amounts of water in different temperatures as shown. Which one correctly shows the arrangement of heat it contains? From the greatest to the least. Okay, so there are two things we are looking at. This one and this is the same. This one and this one is the same. So what aspect is this? This one is actually volume. Now, what do you have to understand about volume? The greater the volume,
The more heat there is,
yes, the more heat. Okay. Now, another thing that you have to look at is temperature. Excuse me. Okay, so you have the temperature there. Of course, the one with the higher temperature means there's most amount of heat, right? The amount of heat is highest, the temperature is higher, so it's the hottest. Okay, so now that we know the volume as well as the temperature, now we have to compare in terms of the amount of heat. So the one with the greatest amount, of course, is the one with the highest volume and the highest temperature. So A is the one with the greatest amount of heat. Okay. Then next one, we have 60 and 60. Then we have to compare the volume. Then volume for D is higher. So D is the one with the second greatest amount of heat.
so answer is B.
Answer is B, yes, because this one has same volume, but temperature is lower. So C is the one with the least amount of heat. So answer is B. Any questions with this? Everybody's okay? Yeah? Calvin, I hope you're not dozing off. No? Okay. Next one. Sheena filled two identical beakers X and Y with the same amount of water at different temperatures. Pour the two beakers into Z. So these two into Z, huh? The temperature is 30 and 50. Okay? So 30 and 50, it will average out to what temperature? Some of you might tell me, oh, teacher, 30 and 50. So I put 30 plus 50 equals to 80. Is that how it works?
Between 30 and 50.
Yes, it must be between 30 and 50 because, okay, the thing
It's like
is
the average temperature.
correct. Yes. Okay, so if over here, why do I say that it's the average? Is because heat always travels. The concept behind it is that heat travels from a hotter to colder region. It's always from hotter to colder, no other ways, okay, or even objects. So in this case, which one is hotter? Beaker Y is hotter, right? It's 50 degrees. Beaker X is only 30 degrees. So the heat will transfer to this side, which means 30 and 50, it will be in between. It will come to an equilibrium. It will come to a balanced temperature. So between 30 and 50, the average is 40. So the answer is A. It's definitely not 30 plus 50. Yeah, this is wrong. Okay, it will not get hotter. It will just come to an equilibrium whereby they reach a common temperature. Any questions? Ariana, are you okay? Ariana looks like a gamer there. Wearing the headset and the mouthpiece. Very professional. Okay, Adik, are you okay, Adik? Yes?
Yes.
Aber? Yeah? Okay. Now let's move on to question number 3. Question number 3. Let's see. This is the answer for this is A. Okay. Okay, next question. Eunice left 2 identical beakers in her living room. Which of the following shows the likely changes of temperature in both? So same thing, if you notice, volume is the same. Oh no, wait. So there's a mistake here. The volume should not be 500, huh? It's clearly lesser. Okay, volume is lesser, right? But the temperature is the same though. Do you realize? Yeah, temperature is 60 and 60. Okay, so in this case, let's take a look. So in terms of volume, which one has more heat? Okay, maybe I'll just name it. Is it A or B? A or B has more heat? A has more heat, right? Because it has a greater volume. So if it has more heat, for it to lose heat, it will take a longer time. So this one, oh, sorry. I think this they haven't labeled. This one is X and this one is Y. Okay. So X will take longer time, but eventually they will get to the same temperature because they are left in her living room. So since it's in her living room, it will be the same temperature after that. So A and B are out. Okay, so it has to either be C or D. Now, like I said, X will take a longer time to reach room temperature because it has more heat energy. So the one that take longer time is X, right? See, it only reaches room temperature here. But for Y, it reaches room temperature here. So the answer is D. Are we clear? This one? Yeah? Okay, moving on. Question 4. This one is easy. Which of the following is not? So
Woolen
put a big
sock.
yes. This is a source of light. Lighted lamp is a source of light. Woolen sock is not. Candle flame. So which one is not? You're looking for crosses. So the answer is C.